你按下去就好。OK.
I don't think anyone's ever had any problem hearing me. Everybody hearing me in the back? No problem? Okay, good. Nice to see you all. Such bright, smiling faces. Welcome to the program. We have a very challenging program ahead for you. You can see the schedule that you've received already. It's quite ambitious. Things will move at a very fast pace. Hopefully, you've all had plenty of sleep already. I promise you one thing. You will be challenged during the time that you're here. Rise to meet that challenge and get the benefit from the investment in time and money that you've put into the program, and you will see a significant difference in your ability to communicate in English about business in the 6-month time frame that you are with us. And for most of you, when it gets challenging, when there's homework, when you're having difficulty balancing work and sleep and homework and family and what have you, remember, there are some people that are coming, as the dean pointed out, not 2 times a week, but 4 times a week, okay? So, those were very brave people, that's for sure. Tonight, what we're going to do is start out with International Business and Culture. We have 2 classes on that, kind of a warm-up course to get you acclimated to our system so that you're used to what's going on. Normally, we will change teachers. You'll be in the same room, but the teachers will rotate. You see there are 2 other teachers to my right here, and you'll be hearing from them soon. Normally, we will rotate our teachers after each class, but since the International Business and Culture class is only 2 classes long, you'll have the same teacher for that and for International Business Social Skills. Once that's completed, you'll stay in the same place, but you'll get another teacher for meetings and negotiations. And once that's completed, you'll get the 3rd teacher in the series for business presentations. And then you'll have one, you'll be back to the teacher you started with for the remainder of the course. Let's talk about a number of these. First of all, let me get an idea from you. When I interviewed a number of you prior to your coming here, I always ask, why do you want to come to ITI? And the number 1 answer, as you would expect, is so that my business English gets improved, okay? So that my English in general improves. And then sometimes I ask people, so what are you doing on your own right now to improve your English? And I get kind of a scared, blank kind of look in return, okay? Let me point out that you need to totally involve yourself in English as much as you can. If you could go to America for 6 months, you'd have a significant improvement in your English when you came back. Okay, maybe you can't take time off from the job to do that, or from other obligations, but you can come very close to that experience by being at ITI, by doing the homework, by participating in class, by reading publications in English, by forming study groups or even little lunch clubs or book clubs or whatever to discuss things in English at work or with your friends that are in a similar situation. There's a lot that you can do on your own, and we'll talk about some of those things. Tonight, as I mentioned, we're going to start off with International Business and Culture to give you some ideas about how cultural aspects influence business decisions and business mindsets. Okay, not everyone thinks alike around the globe, and that different thinking influences how they act in a business environment, and so it's important to understand that. We're going to be dealing with that, and then we're going to move into social skills. And as you know, many business decisions are not made in the boardroom. They're made in more or less social situations, out at dinner, on the golf course, someplace like that. There's an art to making small talk and knowing when to transition from small talk to something more serious, and how long to spend on small talk and what to talk about. We'll be discussing those things. You see, we have a meetings and negotiations course. Again, it's called Intercultural Meetings and Negotiations because meetings in the West are kind of not the same thing as meetings here. And we'll talk about that. Negotiations are not the same thing either across cultures because people have different goals and different motivations, and that affects how they conduct themselves in a negotiation setting. We're also going to talk about Western-style business presentations. You may or may not make presentations in Chinese. You may or may not be comfortable standing up in front of people and saying something about your company, its products, etc. There's a saying in business that business is just a series of presentations, okay? Increasingly, those presentations are going to be made in English, perhaps to native speakers of English, perhaps to non-native speakers, to somebody from Europe who has English as a second language, but they're still maybe expecting a Western style of presentation, so we're going to talk to you about how to do those. We'll also have a survey course called Dynamic Business Communication Skills in English. What that is sort of an overview of many different aspects of business, okay? Branding, market development, human resources, customer service, kind of a module at a time. There will be some reading, there will be some listening, there will be some discussion, there will be some role playing, etc. to kind of round out your knowledge of business topics in English, increase your vocabulary and your skill in communicating about those issues. And finally, the wrap-up course, Trade Show Marketing, has to do with participating in Western model trade shows and promoting yourself, your business, and the products or services that your business has to present to the marketplace. Those are, the individual components of the program, but it's all about doing business in an increasingly complicated and more challenging cross-cultural world environment, in a post-ECFA environment, in a post-financial tsunami environment, okay? Things are not any easier than before. In fact, they're quite a bit more difficult, and so you need to be as competitive as you can be. If you look around this room, and I say this in all seriousness, this is the future of business in Taiwan, you guys, okay? If you think I'm kidding, if it's not you, who is it? Okay, it is you. So think about that, okay? Whatever your position is now in business in Taiwan, you're going to be getting increasingly leadership-oriented positions in your career. And you're going to have to rise to that challenge and participate in those positions in a cross-cultural environment. That's why you're here. What I want to say to you is, you paid money to get here, a lot of it. You're taking a lot of time out of a very busy schedule to be here as well. Get back your investment, okay? Come to class. I know you're tired sometimes, and at the end of a long day, you might be thinking, oh, maybe I'll just not go tonight. No, don't do that, okay? 80% of success is just showing up, all right? Once you show up, you need to participate. Okay? Attendance is the stepping stone. Participation is built on that. That means don't just look at the teacher. Don't just hear what the teacher has to say. Add your own thoughts. Don't wait to be called upon by name. Add your own thoughts to what's being said. That's one reason why you're here. Okay? We'll help you do that, and we'll give you the tools to be successful doing that. It's great to see you all here. I want to allow the other teachers some time to talk about their background. One word that I would say is, one of the interesting things about coming here is that you get a separate teacher for each course. And you'll see that although we're all Americans, we have different teaching styles also, and that's kind of part of the learning process, okay? I have an extensive technical background and a business development background, both in Asia and prior to that in the States. And I've been a corporate trainer for a long time as well before I came to ITI. I've been here for quite some time. The other teachers will tell you about their backgrounds and their specialties as well, and what they bring to the table. But everybody has a different background, and that background will be brought to bear in the courses that you have, and I hope you'll come to appreciate that as we do. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll hand it back to Amanda now, and she can continue with what is going on. Okay? Thanks.
Brian.